All right, how's it going? Here is your study guide, the answer key. I'm going to work through every problem. I trust, using that word trust, that you guys have actually done this before you opened up this video. So here we go. Questions 1 and 2 says graph each linear equation. Identify the coordinates of two ordered pairs on your graph as well as the slope and y-intercept. All right, fair enough. So right here, number 1, we have standard form, right? AX, BY, C. So we're going to rearrange this so that we have slope-intercept form. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract this 3x from both sides. Now I have negative 4y equals negative 3x minus 12. Remember, we sneak the 3x in there in front of the negative 12. Then I'm going to divide by negative 4. So I'm going to get y equals positive 3/4 x plus 3. So I now have slope-intercept form. I have my y-intercept. I have my slope. So I'm going to, let me zoom out here. I'm going to go ahead and graph this. Remember that stained glass activity you all did. So I'm going to plot my y-intercept at 3, and I'm going to go up 3 over 4. Up 3 over 4. And then I can even go down 3 and back 4. Okay, I've got my 4 points. I'm going to connect them to show the line. Remember, that is our ultimate goal of all of this, is to graph that line. And now it says, remember, I needed to find two ordered pairs. So I'm just going to look here on my graph, and I'm going to pick two ordered pairs. So I have 4, 6 could be an ordered pair right here. And then, let's see here. I could go back here. I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4, 0. Okay. Honestly, you guys, you could pick any of the points. They don't have to be the ones that I pick. So when it comes time for the assessment on Monday, as long as your 2 points are actually on this line, you're good. We know our slope is 3 over 4, and we know our y-intercept was 0, 3 as an ordered pair. Okay, so let's do the same thing for number 2. This time it's in point-slope form. So I'm just going to distribute, right? So I'm going to get y minus 1 equals negative 3 over 2x, and then negative 3 over 2 times 4 over 1, cross simplify, I'm going to get negative 6 over 1. So I'm going to get minus 6. Then I just have to add 1 to both sides to get that y by itself. And now I have my slope-intercept form. Now I can make the graph. So I'm going to plot my y-intercept at 0, negative 5. Then I'm going to go down 3 over 2. And then I can't go any further here, so I'm going to go up 3 and back 2. Up 3 and back 2. Now I have my 4 points. I'm going to connect them to show this beautiful line. Okay, so now I can answer the questions down here. I'm just going to pick two ordered pairs. So I'm going to say negative 4, 1 and negative 2, negative 2. And then my slope was negative 3 over 2, and my y-intercept was 0, negative 5. So again, hopefully this is what you had for your answers. If this isn't what you, and then remember, the ordered pairs can be any ordered pairs that are on that line. So maybe you chose the y-intercept. Maybe you chose this point, okay? It's totally up to you as far as that goes. As long as I can find them on your line, you're good. Let's move on to page 2. Okay, it says for items 3 and 4, write an equation with the given information in all 3 forms. Wowza. Okay, so I've got 2 points, and I have to write in point slope, slope intercept, and standard form. So the first thing I'm going to do is find my slope. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to get negative 2 minus negative 6 over 1 minus negative 3. I'm going to change these into addition. So I'm going to get 4 over 4, so my slope is 1. Easy peasy. Okay, so for point slope form, I can go ahead and do that. Remember, point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. So my point slope form is going to be, and you could use either point. Remember, I will accept both points as your answers. I always go with the first one just because it's the first one. So I'm going to get y minus negative 3 equals 1 times the quantity x minus, that's supposed to be y minus negative 6 equals 1 times the quantity x minus negative 3. These need to turn into addition. So I end up with y plus 6 equals 1 times the quantity x plus 3. Okay, so now I've got my point slope form. I can easily turn that into slope intercept form by just distributing that 1. So if I rewrite this up here, y plus 6 equals 1 times the quantity x plus 3. Distribute the 1. Y plus 6 equals x plus 3. Subtract 6 from both sides. Y equals x minus 3. So that's going to be my slope intercept form. Right? And now all I need is standard form. So remember, that's the ax plus b. And if you didn't notice up here, I have all three forms here at the top. Okay, so you don't have to memorize them for the quiz. You can keep flipping back to that page if you need to. All right, so for standard form, I'm just going to subtract x from both sides. So I have negative x plus y equals negative 3. I can't have this negative x, so I have to divide everything by negative 1. So now I have x minus y equals 3, and that's going to be my standard form. Okay, so that's that problem. Those questions, I'll just leave this here for a second so you can pause it if you need to. All right, this next one, we are doing the same thing. We're given a point and the y-intercept, which seems a little strange, but you all know that the y-intercept is actually the ordered pair 0, negative 2. So what we have is the exact same information given for this number 3 problem. We have two ordered pairs. So let's go ahead and find the slope. Writing that slope formula every time. So I've got negative 2 minus 1, negative 2 minus negative 1 over 0 minus 4. Add these. Negative 2 plus, oops, there's that 1 hiding right there. My little circle. Cover that up. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. 0 minus 4 is negative 4, so my slope is actually positive 1/4. Because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So now I have my slope, so I can do point slope form, which we all love. Y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. I'm going to be using that first ordered pair again. So I'm going to do y minus negative 1 equals 1/4 times the quantity x minus 4. This is going to turn to adding, so I have y plus 1 equals 1/4 times the quantity x minus 4. So there's my point slope form. We can stop right there, fill that in. Y plus 1 equals 1/4 times the quantity x minus 4. Slope intercept form, remember, then we're just going to take this point slope form. I'm going to distribute the 1/4, so I'm going to get y plus 1 equals 1/4 x. 1/4 of negative 4 is going to be negative 1. And then I have to subtract 1 from both sides to get y by itself. Y equals 1/4 x minus 2. So that's going to be my slope-intercept form. Okay. Then the last thing I have to do is change this into standard form. So I'm going to subtract the 1/4 x from both sides. And I'm going to get negative 1/4 x plus y equals negative 2. So this one is a little bit different than even the ones we did yesterday. I still can't have a fraction here, and I also can't have a negative. So what am I going to have to multiply everything by so that this is no longer a fraction or a negative? Well, I'm definitely going to multiply everything by 4 to clear this fraction, but I need it to be a negative 4, so this turns into a positive coefficient. So I'm just going to multiply everything times negative 4. So negative 4 times negative 1/4 is going to give me 1, so there's my x. Negative 4 times y will give me negative 4y, and negative 4 times negative 2 will give me positive 8. So there is my standard form, x minus 4y equals 8. So now we have taken an ordered pair and the y-intercept, and we've been able to transform into all three types of linear equations. I'll just leave that there for a second in case you need to pause your screen and check your work. All right, let's move on to question 5. We have a punctured water bottle. It's leaking at a constant rate. The table shows the amount of water remaining in the bottle over the duration of the leak. Use this information to complete items 5 through 8. Okay, so we have a lot happening here in this table. They're giving us 5-minute increments. We have our y-intercept, right? Because this is really our x value, this is our y value. So we know our y-intercept is 600. What we don't know quite yet is how much water is leaking each minute, right? Because our slope has to be per minute. Okay, so if I'm losing 100 milliliters every 5 minutes. So if I were to write that as a slope, remember it's the change in y over the change in x, my rise or fall over run, I would get negative 100 over 5, which means my slope has to be negative 20 because that tells me that every minute, excuse me, these are seconds. Every second, it's losing 20 milliliters. Okay, it's a big leak. All right, so I was able to find my slope per second by dividing the change in the amount of water by the elapsed time because they give me 5-second increments. So now I have my slope. I know my y-intercept, so my equation is going to be y equals negative 20x plus 600. This tells me it's losing 20 milliliters of water each second, and it started at 600 milliliters. So my slope is negative 20. My y-intercept is 0, 600. Okay, interpret the slope and y-intercept. Oops, sorry guys. So what this negative 20 means is 20 milliliters of water is leaking out every second. That's what's happening there. The y-intercept, the 0, 600, is amount of water before the leak. Oops, I'm going to want to put an E there on before. Okay, so again, it's really important, and I know that there was some concern with this on a different quiz. You need to interpret what it means. So don't just tell me the slope and y-intercept. You have to tell me what it means in regard to the context of the problem. So if you wrote negative 20, that's the slope. That's not interpreting anything. That doesn't tell me that you know that it actually means 20 milliliters of water is leaking out every second. Okay, so you have to give me all the information. Now they want us to graph the linear relationship on the plane to the right. Okay, easy enough. I can see that these are going in 5-second increments. So I'm going to have 10, 15, 20, and then this is going in 100 milliliter increments. So I'm going to fill these in. Easy enough. And then I'm going to use my slope to actually plot points. So I start at 600, that's my y-intercept. And then at 5 seconds, I'm down to 500. And I'm going back up here to this table to use this. At 10 seconds, I'm at 400. At 15 seconds, I'm at 300. 20 seconds, I'm at 200. So I know that this would be, if I kept going at that constant rate of change, that's going to be my last 2 points on this graph. Well, my lines are connected. It says how much water will be remaining in the bottle after 30 seconds. So if I look at my graph, nothing. There's nothing left. It's empty. So I would say the bottle is empty after 30 seconds. Right? Because based on this, how I extended this graph, I have no more water in the bottle. Okay, we're so close. Let's go on to the next page. Oh, you guys are going to be really good at this. For items 9 and 10, write the equation described in slope-intercept form. Okay, so we want to write a line, an equation of a line through this point that's parallel to this. Okay, easy peasy. If it's parallel, my slope is 4, so I'm going to want the same slope, and I have a point. So I have a point and slope, so I'm going to use point-slope form. So I'm going to write out what it is, y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. So I've got my x1, y1. So y minus 2 equals 4, because that's my slope, times x minus 4. And then to take this from point-sloped form to slope-intercept form, I have to distribute the 4. Y minus 2 equals 4x minus 16. And then I'm going to add 2 to both. So I'm going to get y equals 4x minus 14. Pretty easy, right? So I had a point, I had the slope, I used point-slope form, got it in a slope-intercept form. Okay, for this one, I have the same point, I have the same line, but I want a perpendicular line to this. So remember, perpendicular means my slope has to be the opposite reciprocal. So the opposite reciprocal of 4 is negative 1/4, because it's opposite and it's the reciprocal. So let's go through this same process. Y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. Y minus 2 equals negative 1/4, because that's my slope, times the quantity x minus 4. And then when I distribute this, I get y minus 2 equals negative 1/4 x. Negative 1/4 times 4. Sorry guys, the glare is actually from the lights in the classroom, which is bonkers. No wonder we all have headaches. Okay, so I distributed the negative 1/4. Negative 1/4 times negative 4 is going to give me positive 1. And then I have to add the 2 to both sides. So I'm going to get y equals negative 1/4 x plus 3. So that's going to be my equation. Negative 1/4 x plus 3. So there you have it. That is your study guide. Hopefully you did pretty well on this before watching the video, and just be prepared on the next time I see you to take this quiz. So for my West kiddos, it'll be Monday, and for my Miller kiddos, it'll be Tuesday. All right, have a great one.